Hey, Trailblazers! Is the American dream at risk in some of the very places meant to uphold it? Today, we're looking at recent federal data and legislative trends to uncover a troubling pattern in our society. You might be living in one of the states where discrimination is a growing concern. Welcome to Mystic Trails. But before we start, let's be clear about the data. Creating a simple top 10 list for discrimination in 2025 is tricky. Official year-end reports from agencies like the EEOC often come out much later. So this isn't just about the number of reports. We're looking at a combination of factors. The most recent available data, new laws being tracked by groups like the ACLU, and clear concerning trends. This list highlights the states showing the most troubling patterns right now. Kicking off our list is Ohio. While it might not always grab national headlines for this, there's a concerning pattern emerging. In early 2025, the state enacted a law that forces schools to out transgender students and censors LGBTQ+ related curriculum. Actions like these can create a chilling effect, fostering a climate where discrimination feels more permissible. This legislative push runs parallel to ongoing workplace issues, where race, disability, and retaliation consistently rank as top drivers of discrimination complaints filed by residents. Coming in at number 9 is Arkansas. This state has passed multiple laws targeting LGBTQ+ individuals, such as creating broad religious exemptions to non-discrimination laws and labeling gender-affirming care for minors as malpractice. But the issues run deeper. Analyses of EEOC data show that race-related charges make up a significant percentage of all workplace discrimination complaints filed in the state. This combination of hostile legislation against one group and persistent workplace discrimination against others contributes to a broader environment of hostility. At number 8, we have Utah. In 2025, Utah passed a package of laws targeting the LGBTQ+ community, including a ban on pride flags in government buildings and another that criminalizes transgender people for using certain public restrooms. While the state's legislative agenda has focused heavily on gender identity, these actions build a framework for discrimination that can easily bleed into other areas. This is particularly concerning in a state with a rapidly growing Hispanic population and existing racial disparities in its justice system. Our 7th state is Tennessee. Over the last decade, Tennessee has become known for passing a high number of anti-LGBTQ+ laws. But it's not just about that legislation. A Forbes analysis of EEOC data shows Tennessee has one of the highest rates of workplace discrimination charges in the nation, when adjusted for population, at 79 charges per 100,000 people. Digging deeper, nearly 39% of all discrimination charges filed in the state are race-related. That combination of hostile laws and high rates of both racial and general workplace complaints points to a deeply challenging environment. At number 6 is Idaho. In 2025, Idaho stood out by passing 7 anti-LGBTQ+ bills into law. These laws do things like ban diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI programs at universities, and allow healthcare workers to refuse services based on moral or religious beliefs. The dismantling of DEI programs directly impacts efforts to support racial and ethnic minorities on campus. Furthermore, Idaho is home to one of the highest concentrations of active hate and anti-government groups in the nation, which encourages an atmosphere where discrimination of all kinds can fester. We're only halfway through the list, and what we're seeing is pretty alarming. Before we continue, here's a quick trivia question for you. Which landmark 1967 Supreme Court case struck down all state laws that banned interracial marriage? Drop your guess in the comments, and we'll reveal the answer at the end of the video. Breaking into our top 5 is Louisiana. The state has long struggled with deep-seated racial inequality, and recent data on housing is particularly grim. Louisiana is one of the worst states for Black homebuyers, with studies showing persistent discrimination in mortgage lending That creates a massive homeownership gap. On top of that, data shows Louisiana has one of the highest percentages of race-based workplace discrimination charges in the nation. When combined with a worsening safety score for its LGBTQ+ residents, a grim picture of systemic discrimination affecting multiple communities comes into focus. Number 4 might surprise you, California. Despite its progressive image, California consistently shows up in the top 5 for the highest total number of discrimination charges filed with the EEOC. A big reason for this is its massive population and workforce. But volume isn't the only story. In 2023, the state also reported the highest number of hate crime events in the entire country. So, while the state has strong anti-discrimination laws on the books, the sheer volume of both workplace complaints and hate incidents proves that many residents still face serious discrimination. Taking the third spot is Texas. Texas files the most workplace discrimination charges in the entire country, accounting for over 10% of the nation's total. At the same time, the ACLU is tracking an incredibly high number of anti-LGBTQ+ bills in the Texas legislature. But the threats to civil rights don't stop there. Lawmakers have passed bills to ban DEI initiatives and have redrawn congressional maps in ways that have been found to discriminate against Black and Hispanic voters by dismantling their majority districts. This mix of a high volume of official complaints and a multi-front legislative assault on marginalized groups makes Texas one of the most concerning states. Our runner-up is Iowa. In an unprecedented move, Iowa became the first state in the country to actually repeal anti-discrimination protections for transgender people that had been part of its Civil Rights Act for nearly 2 decades. The bill, passed in early 2025, legally stripped away protections in housing, employment, and public life that had been in place since 2007. This is a shocking step backward, but it's not the only indicator of trouble. According to a University of Massachusetts Amherst study, Iowa also has the single highest rate of workplace discrimination charges filed by African Americans in the entire country. And at number 1, the state with some of the most alarming discrimination trends in 2025 is Florida. Recent EEOC data consistently shows Florida having the second highest total number of discrimination charges in the country, right behind Texas. This is supercharged by a flood of legislation targeting marginalized groups. These include laws restricting how race and history can be taught in classrooms, limiting access to gender-affirming care, criminalizing which bathrooms transgender people can use, and creating a hostile environment for the state's large Hispanic and immigrant populations. On top of all that, some analyses suggest Florida has a low hate crime reporting rate, which means the official numbers may not even show the full extent of the problem. From legislative attacks in Florida and Iowa to the systemic housing discrimination in Louisiana, it's obvious the fight for equality in America is nowhere near finished. Workplace complaints in states like Texas and California show that even strong laws aren't enough on their own. The states on this list represent the front lines of this battle, where hostile policies and a tense social climate are causing real harm to Black, Hispanic, LGBTQ+, and other communities. Before we sign off, the answer to our trivia question is Loving v. Virginia. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to Mystic Trails. Catch you on the next trail.